All right then, here we go. Is that good? Yeah, looks okay to me. Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to GBFC2, the second channel of the George Benson football channel that we know is heavily Chelsea biased, heavily Chelsea orientated. It's basically a Chelsea fan channel and I'm the only bloody fan on it apart from when I do collabs. This channel, we like to expand. We like to delve into other footballing matters that are not the blue with the badge of Chelsea Football Club. However, it just so happens that the biggest club football competition in the world happens to still have Chelsea Football Club in it. So today, when we go through both Real Madrid, Chelsea, PSG, Manchester City, we're gonna start with the boys in blue from West London. Chelsea go to Real Madrid and they get themselves a 1-1 draw, which on paper, which of course, you know we can't analyse football on paper, but on paper, that is actually not a bad result whatsoever. The away goal is always a bonus going into a second leg where we're playing in our home stadium. However, Thomas Tuchel is unbeaten as Chelsea manager away from home. And one of my little theories about this, which I will go into more detail on over on GBFC, but I feel as though Chelsea play with a lot less fear when they're playing away from home. And this semi-final against Real Madrid, I think was a prime example of that, where for the first, let's say, 25 minutes of the game, Chelsea were absolutely blistering. They were scintillating. And Real Madrid could have been 2 or 3-0 down inside that opening 25 minutes. However, Chelsea, same issue that we've had all season. There was, at the beginning of the season, we had games where we were just defensively woeful. We were shocking at the back. And then there's not really any personnel changes, but formation, tactical change when Thomas Tuchel came in. And that defensive issue, apart from one match against West Brom, has totally disappeared. The other issue is being clinical in front of goal. And I think even though we've got Tammy Abraham, Olivier Giroud, Timo Werner at the club, and Havertz, Pulisic, Mount, Ziyech, all of these attack-minded players, I think Chelsea still need to look for a clinical, big goal-scoring striker. And next season, we would be an absolute force, be it in the Premier League or the Champions League. But when you're playing against a team with the know-how, the experience and the quality as Real Madrid, you cannot squander as many chances and great attacking pieces of possession that Chelsea did. Karim Benzema scores the most typically brilliant Karim Benzema goal. He's such a smart striker. If we talk about strikers with a good striker's brain, Karim Benzema is one of those. And also, if you want to understand what I mean, I'd say Olivier Giroud is also a striker with an incredible forwards-thinking brain. There are a lot of strikers who have to really work on this so that at some stage in their career, when they're of the age of Benzema, Giroud, it becomes much more obvious for people like you or I to understand the kind of caliber and quality that these strikers have. So you give Karim Benzema a sniff in and around the 6-yard box, doesn't matter how difficult the chance is, he's probably going to convert it. And I think overall, Karim Benzema was by far Real Madrid's best player, even though many times during the game, he was incredibly isolated. I think looking forward to that second leg next week, which we're obviously going to preview a lot more over on GBFC, but I think Zinedine Zidane will be more than smart enough to have seen that Karim Benzema is the key to Real Madrid winning this. And I think if we look forward to what Real Madrid will have for the next leg, Eden Hazard is 100% going to start the game. Mark my words on that. Sergio Ramos might be back. Valverde might be back. Mendy will be back. And it does look a little bit ominous on that level for Chelsea. But if we can continue to play the way that we did in that first half an hour, no matter what formational changes Real Madrid make, I think it is an incredibly even matchup and it is still totally all to play for. We move into speaking about last night's game. It finished Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City coming from behind 2. That is a massive, massive win for Manchester City. Not just on the obvious level, the surface layer of Champions League semi-final, first leg, away from home, 2 away goals, you're leading the tie on many different levels. I think psychologically, that could be the biggest victory of Pep Guardiola's career as Manchester City manager. I think it could be that big. When you look at the confidence of how Man City have played all season, yes, they lost to Chelsea in an FA Cup semi-final, but they're the champions-elect in the Premier League, Carabao Cup winners, now leading a Champions League semi-final relatively comfortably to progress into that final. I think the confidence that the comeback will give this Manchester City team is the psychological hurdle that they've so struggled with, or struggled so much with, should I say, over recent years. I think we know with Manchester City, no matter what kind of form they're in, they've always got incredible playing personnel who, on any given day, could be any side in the world. They've got such a great squad of players and one of the best managers of our generation. And it's been these matches when it gets down to the final couple of games before making that one-off match in a final that Manchester City have really struggled with. But last night, they go behind, Marquinhos scoring an early goal, the 15th minute, just 1 minute after Pulisic scored for Chelsea. There was a lot of tentative play from Manchester City. I feel as though they were giving PSG a little bit too much respect. And sometimes when it's a big game and you're away from home and you're against the team who are obviously very good, particularly with the quality of the Paris Saint-Germain attackers, I think City were being far too respectful, which is actually something that is usually the case of teams that play Manchester City. Manchester City often struggle when you go at them, when you don't give them the space to try and control all of the pitch, which is what they usually do, be it in possession or out of possession. And I think in the first half, Manchester City were doing that to PSG. And I think PSG thoroughly deserved to go in at half-time with the lead. We then move into the second half. Kevin De Bruyne scores the equaliser, which is a massive goal. It's the away goal. And as soon as City came out at half-time into the second half, you could tell that that mentality had changed. Pep Guardiola said it himself. They were being too shy. That was the word that he used, and I say that they were giving them too much respect, but shy is also pretty much the same thing there. They come out, De Bruyne gets an equaliser in relatively lucky circumstances, but then the balance and shift of the tie moved into their favour. Similarly to what happened with Chelsea-Real Madrid, where after Real Madrid equalised, they grew back into the game. They used the momentum of the goal to start to play the ball a bit more with more confidence. They started to be positionally a lot more aware of the mistakes they made in the early stages of the game, which Chelsea didn't capitalise on. Exactly the same for Manchester City. You then have the situation where Riyad Mahrez scores the winning goal 7 minutes after De Bruyne's equaliser, where Kevin De Bruyne would normally be taking that free kick all day in that position. Riyad Mahrez hits it, and it's actually quite funny that De Bruyne gives Mahrez the free kick, but then it's not actually the best free kick from Riyad Mahrez. The PSG wall, it is, again, it's a crumbling wall, which is kind of typical of how both of these sides have been in the Champions League. They crumble when it matters most. And I'd say that if this was a battle of the flipping apple crumbles and the blueberry crumbles, if Man City are the blueberry crumble might have just won the battle of the crumbles. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that City got the victory last night in that away leg, going back to the Etihad for the second leg, I think they're firmly in control of this tie now and are ready to make their first ever UEFA Champions League final. I think the second half performance was absolutely brilliant. They also missed the chance through Phil Foden, which he probably should have scored or could have scored, and then we're talking 3-1 and I think it's game over. PSG, the thing with PSG is even though City scored 2 away goals, there is so much attacking quality in that Paris Saint-Germain side. And if we use the analogy of the apple crumble and the blueberry crumble, Manchester City as those blueberries might just crumble into a pie that Paris Saint-Germain go and chomp to make their way to the Champions League final. I don't know how I've got to this point, but that is the worst analogy and explanation I think I could have ever given. But as I always say in my videos, just own the flippant nature of what I say. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Evenly poised to an extent, City in control, Chelsea, Real Madrid, who bloody knows what's going to happen there. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy it and you're not yet subscribed to GBFC2, I'd love to ask you to do so. And also, if you could hit the like button, it lets me know that you guys enjoy these little roundup videos that we do after the big games. But thank you guys for watching. I will catch you all tomorrow.